just fade in. There we go. Get all the lights turned on and everybody in place. There you go. I'm Franklin, your astrologer. This is the Cosmic Watch, and we will be checking the skies for you, looking at what's going on this particular day, astrologically speaking. And we'll also be joined here this is a chat room, and we'll be joined by subscribers to the channel who will have their questions and have their say about what's going on. Yeah, here's Cody coming in saying, hey, Cody, what sort of a week have you had as we finish out the month of March? Anything in particular going on? Well, I had a busy week. My wife was back in for surgery this week, and everything, boy, just went great, and she's feeling so much better, and things are really looking up. But it was such an up and down kind of a week. I mean, it was like a roller coaster ride all week long. Things have just been really good and then fall apart and then just repeat, rinse and repeat. Cody says, one of a kind of week too. Yeah. See, this is when you accept the good things that come into your life, you're also accepting the things that are meant to motivate you in different directions and send you out to find where what you're supposed to be doing. What you're supposed to be doing. Cody, if you want to go first, if you want to go first tonight, let me see what it is that's pulling you in tonight. Is you don't believe something that someone is telling you. Someone has lied to you, and of course, for your own good, they were just trying to help, right? So, this is sort of a lie of omission. Someone is not really fessing up to why they want you to do something and why they're trying so hard to get you to do their ideas. And Cody says, yeah, that's pretty true. This the 7 here. See, this is everything. It's swords, so it's your mind. It's what you perceive is truth and lies. All right, so everybody sees it completely differently. And from last week, oh man, the difference between the 2 weeks has been remarkable, and it comes to a conclusion today. Today, 3/31/2023 adds up to 14. Pardon me. And 1 + 4 = 5. 5 is what today is. And 5 is change. Change, and up and down change. Here's Izzy saying, hi, Izzy. What sort of a week have you had? Anything in particular happening this week with you? Well, is there... Okay. Is he says that he's that he's sad, and Dad passed away on the 7th. Yesterday was my father's would have been my father's birthday, and my dad died in 1980. What was it? The year that he died was in June, the 6th month, and he died in 8. And he also died at 1:23 a.m. So if it had happened to have been 45 seconds past that next minute, then he died at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So it was that. Did I have the year right on that? Believe me, it was all the different integers that fall in there. Izzy says, SJ saying hi, Franklin. Izzy says, wow. And also sorry. Yeah, man. I tell you what, that's something that you really have to think about is your parents. You're going to feel very different when your parents are no longer around. It's one of the big changes of your life, no matter what age you are. And of course, the younger, the harder it is to get through. Is he saying sorry? Yes, and it is. It's strange how life goes around, how things come around to you because you attract them into your life. Cody says, what if, yeah, and Harry, my father was the king of the hard-headed Aries. Boy, I tell you what, he was probably the happiest guy that anybody knew. And people loved him. They thought he was just, a wonderful guy. and let me tell you something. My father, for me, when other seers look into my life, they can't even hear my father ever saying anything to me. Ever, even though we lived together for 20 years. So it was kind of a strange relationship. But imagine this. My father was born in 1929, the year that the Depression starts. So he grows up in the Depression years, right? And his only thought in as he got to be a teenager was to join World War II, get out there. And everybody he knew was fighting World War II. And the year he turned 16, the war ended. And everybody came home and took all of the places in the schools, in the colleges, and they also took all the jobs. And it was a bad time to be unaffiliated, as it were, back in the war years, man. But everything goes around, comes around. Everything comes back to you. Cody says, "Funny you were born in a season before your father, because my sun's sign is Taurus and father is a Gemini." It's very interesting that the sins of the father, the sins of the mother and the father are very important. Are very important to us. Uh, King, birthday March 21st of 1984. Okay. So let's see. 3 and 3 are 6 and 16 and 28. 2, 8, 10, King. 2 plus 8 equals 10. So 2, you have to get together with other people to make that 8, to make money. You're going to work with other people to bring money into your life, and then it equals 10. That is creativity. Man, that's the 1 says, let's do it and do it right now. And the 0 says that you have the intuition to know what to do, to how to entertain a crowd. And here's Izzy saying, do you see reconciliation with the Aries? Okay, so Izzy the Sagittarius is wondering what's going to come of a relationship with an Aries mixing together there. And this this particular card is mine that I put into the deck, and it shows release. It shows that what that Aries is going to do for you is show you how to release the past, to let it go, and be ready for new things to come into your life. Open yourself to new things that are coming into your life. And SJ saying hello, and pull a card for me, SJ. Let's see how are the boys doing? The boy doing? And if I pull one for you, this is very good news. SJ, this is you learning secrets that are within your heart. You finding that what you need is really within you. It's right there. And Cody says, my mother, a couple of seasons after my birth season, that would have made her a Cancer. Yeah. Okay. Think about this for a minute. When Jesus stopped along the side of the road and healed the man who had been blind since birth, the disciples asked him later on, what was the cause of all this? Was it something that man had done in a previous lifetime, or was it instant karma? Was it something that his mother and father had done in this lifetime? And it shows you that both Jesus and the disciples completely believed in reincarnation. Jesus said, no, it's neither one of those. It was to show as many people as possible the love of God. And what the love of God can do, can restore anything. So where were we here? King says, birthday there. And we have SJ and Cody's. And King says, I want to know what my destiny is. King, okay, I want to know what my destiny is, says King. And very good. It's about bringing people together. It's about bringing opposites together with your mind. The man driving the chariot here, there's no reins. He's driving with his mind. He's telling these animals where to go. And this is your future, is being able to bring different people, black and white, whatever, together and get them to work in a common cause. So your destiny is to be the doorway, the access. You speak both languages. You'll bring people together and get them to work side by side. That's being the boss. That's getting things done. So SJ says good, and Izzy says, so he will divorce me. Ooh, Izzy, the Sagittarius, asking about the Aries. Will he divorce? Will he divorce? That is a possible path. And no path is written in stone. There's always 2, 3, 4 different paths that in the book of life you'll see start. And it's unknown how which one you will choose and where we'll end up at. That's the wonderful thing about life. You never know what's going to blow in tomorrow, right? What the ocean will bring in tomorrow. Cody says, yes, that's true. I'd like to know what's in store for me for the coming days and the coming weeks. Okay, the coming days. Cody, what's about to be in your path? Is it going to be a stepping stone or a roadblock? What's in your path immediately is finding out that what's been holding you where you are, those ties, those chains are not as strong as people have led you to believe. And if you'll notice, there's a back door that's wide open in this picture. All you have to do is look for the way out. So things immediately are going to change. And if we look at the next 30 days, Cody, you're going to be celebrated for telling the truth, for bringing the truth. And others will come to your side. They'll give you all the help you need if you ask for it. And remember at the end of the day to give everybody credit for what they did. Like a third songwriter that threw in the hook line, right? You got to take care of everybody. Cody says, I want to know what the coming weeks that. No, we're back to King. And King says, like you hit the nail right on the head. It's, you know what it is, King? Every one of us have spirit guides. And our spirit guides come to us through the voice we'll trust most. That's our own. When you ask me a question, your guides are within your voice. And they're talking to you while you're talking to me, and my guides hear your guides. My guides guide my cards. They guide my fingers to the proper card. Every time I draw a card, I give myself a chance to pick any one of the cards, and it's just a matter of where they have me stop. So it's a talent. It's a gift, and the more you use it, the better it gets. And we all have it, and the more we use it, the more connected we get to our own spirit guides. And they are not going to lead you in the wrong direction. And spirit guides always start by giving you a suggestion, making it easy for you. I had a heart attack, didn't hurt me at all. Just stopped me, slowed me down. But and the second one, though, they got a little bit rougher there. And good evening from Cincinnati, says Gemini rising. A Gemini rising in Ohio. And let's see, Gemini. Got those twins working there. That means you see both sides of things. And you're Gemini rising is about to experience a big change. You're about to turn that horse around, go the other way. That's right. So be ready to accept change. And boy, isn't that the theory that will get you through life. Accept the changes that come. Good evening. Cody says, I remember talking to you. My last reincarnation lives and one of my past lives. Now that's great. That's great. I truly believe that people have more than one karma working at any particular time. I mean, this has been going on for 25,000 years at least, right? There's, I know that my wife and I travel together through time with a group of people, about a half a dozen of us. And I also know for a fact that she has other lives that I'm not in. She has another group of people. So karma, why not have two? Why not let that be the reason that people are jerked out of this life and taken away? And suddenly it's because they have other things to do. They have another life to take care of. And we can't take sacred revenge for the death of anyone on this planet because the soul never dies. Cody talking about talking to each other in another lifetime. And to think that back then in that lifetime, we were laying the groundwork for this, knowing that it was coming. We were pointed in this direction. Music to me is the biggest thing in the world. Always has been. And there's always a tune going on in my head, in the back of my head. That's I've never been able to get rid of. I still remember about that. Yes, I do. Hope all going well, says Gemini. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. And other people met life. King says, I was wondering if you ever heard of decoding. It says there we're playing out a movie. Each one of us has playing a script. What are your thoughts on that? Ooh, that movies and television are the greatest teaching tool that there's ever been. We learn more from those intimate moments that a film or television can give us, and it's I think at the end of life, when you're trying to make the decision as to whether or not you found enlightenment in this life, or if you need to be reincarnated into another life, it's you're looking and listening to yourself. It's you going back over every word you ever said. This is why some people are pretty hard to get in touch with right after they die, because it's a long lesson to listen to not only listen to everything you said, but to see the effect on the other people that you had. This is the most eye-opening, enlightening thing that the spirit world can do for you, is to just monitor you, and nothing ever goes away. It all comes around in a circle. Everything is circular in this universe. Here's Say coming in. But the King, the movie script idea comes from the Greeks, Plato. Write your own life and then live it. They had something going on there. The downside of the Greeks, of course, was that they could not foresee a perfect world where the Greeks did not have slaves. They thought that slaves were a gimme, right? Everybody had to have a slave, long as the Greeks didn't get enslaved. And the Greeks also thought that women were inferior because they had fewer teeth, and because they did math problems slower. And what that means is that the man dives into the middle of the pool to learn how to swim, and the woman walks around and sees exactly what she's going to get into. They move at a slower pace, and that was perceived by the Greeks as being slower at putting arithmetic together. So you can see that even the greatest minds ever had a lot of it wrong. So that was decoding with King. Saying hi, and I think Crazy Coolios said hi. I haven't seen Coolios get through this evening. And here's Cody is saying, I remember you talking about cable TV was originally for a system that helps every show was ever made. And I tell you, an archive for every great classic TV show that was ever made. Okay, so where these archives start is the newscast, the local newscast. Local TV stations tape each other to find flaws, to find mistakes. And this is how the archives got started. Now, going back and archiving the old films and the old TV shows from the kinescope days to the tape recording days. Well, there's a man to thank for all the music, all the recordings, everything, and his name is Les Paul. Les Paul, a man credited with inventing the electric guitar, also put a second Ampex recording head on an Ampex recording machine and invented multitrack taping, being able to sing with yourself, right? The entire multitracking idea had never occurred to anyone. And here's Les Paul building his own at home. The man was a genius. And the if you listen to the old Les Paul records where he was just experimenting with what sounds he could make on the guitar, you'll hear everything that came later. Everything that's ever come later. He either played as the blues or this or that or the other. But Les Paul invented these sounds. Les Paul invents the wah-wah pedal, all of the electric, the dashback, flashback, whatever you want to call it, that gives sound recording that full feel by putting a little bit of echo behind it. And these are all inventions of Les Paul. And the reason he invented it was his wife. Of course, Mary was a singer beyond belief. And when he started, their house is cut up into recording rooms, right? Has her recording in one room, and mics are hanging everywhere. But when she multitracks and sings with herself, it was one of the mind-boggling moments of recorded music. And it's really where recorded music starts in the early 1950s, turns into rock and roll by the mid-50s because of transistors and kids being able to control the radio. Cody says from the kinescope days to the takeover. Boy, kinescope days. Imagine Edison inventing the kinescope, inventing movies to go on his kinescope, inventing the movie production house to make his movies. Here's a guy who'd never seen a movie in his life. Here's a guy who was a practical, hands-on inventor. He was not in the entertainment business, and yet he made the very first movies. He showed everybody else how to do it. It's here's Crazy Coolio. Says hello, howdy. Crazy. Well, how about it? Let me see. Let me see what's going on here. Big changes. Big changes, Crazy Coolios. Yes. This is circumstances beyond your control, blowing things away, blowing the old away, getting rid of the old that's been holding you back. This is the universe doing for you what you couldn't do for yourself. They're taking care of people who have been a problem to you. A situation maybe that was a problem. Get you out of that building. They want you to move. They want you to, your guides want you to make a change and commit to it and stay to it. And here's Nellie. Nellie, have you been with us before? It seems like I remember you were here a time before. Nellie, if I draw a card on you, dear, it would be that you're turning down the same invitation that you turned down before. So you must be wondering, why does he keep coming around if I turn him down every time? I think it's because sooner or later you're going to say yes. You get to know people. They change. Sure. Give them a chance. Cody says between 45 and the mid-60s, most TV shows were done live with the old kinescope camera. And imagine the guy who invented television, the working mechanical version that we got way back in the 40s, right? Is when television first comes on. But there is an engineer whose name slips out of my mind, of course, right now. But he was working on the problem of trying to get television from studio to the home. And he took a vacation to a remote wheat field in like South Dakota, somewhere at the end of the earth. And he notices that you could take a picture of that wheat field and flip it around and make it go backwards, of course, but you could then send the signal out. He saw that he could build an identical set or whatever on the other side. And that's really the start of this mechanical version of sending that message out and then receiving it that digital, of course, took the place of. And what a remarkable thing digital TV is. For someone who grew up with television like myself, grew up with blurry, wavering television, it's a wonder to be able to stand in a different room and be able to read what's on the television, the picture being as clear as if it were real. And that's a remarkable feat. When you think about the people on this earth and what they accomplish, there's no end to it. We can do anything when we all work together. There's 8 billion of us on this planet, and to waste anybody is a shame. Here's Katie. Katie, oh, okay. Katie, let me do a card on you. Let's see. Boom. Katie says she has an overpowering attraction for someone. And boy, won't that happen in your life. When your guides agree with the guides of someone else, they let them into your life. They don't show you any trouble when you look in their eyes. If you're not supposed to be with a person, you'll see trouble in their eyes. You might even see snake eyes. You know, these people that see reptile people, that's why. It's in their own eyes. They're being shown the danger in that person's eyes. And Crazy Coolios says he's a vegan now. And did a test for television as early as 1929. Wow. So they were experimenting with television for years. And you know what comes next is FM radio. If you go in the old television band, if you go up past channel 13, there's then the FM band. That if there were any stations on the air in your area, and these were called experimental stations, the X stations. Oh, so hearsay. And Nellie, well, I think we're talking food here. And Cody says, lucky to be able to be watching the old shows. I tell you what, you can certainly see their influence in the current shows. You can tell who grew up watching television, and some are such classics that they prevail today. I mean, this is 60 years ago that they made Mayberry, or the original Andy Griffith show, which was a spinoff of the Danny Thomas show. Danny Thomas takes a road trip and he goes through a small town, and it just happens to be Mayberry, and that's how we meet up with Andy Griffith, who is at that time about as big a Broadway star as you can have. See, no time for sergeants and the face in the crowd were both huge on the Broadway uh, stage, and then became the movies that will run forever. These those two showing the good side and the bad side of one particular man from North Carolina. What a gifted individual, and to think that Andy Griffith had the power to lead in either direction, right? And he is that he did Mayberry is a tribute. It really is that soothed the soul of so many people. There were so many characters that we saw ourselves in. It truly was teaching, and that's what television is supposed to do. Of course, it runs now for 25 years, and the color episodes are not worth seeing. Fortunately, in the old days, when they first made Andy Griffith, they were doing 39 episodes a year. Can you imagine that? That many? That's why you have all of these old black and white things, because they made so many episodes to run all year long. It's, poopy. What this is our chat room, and we are open to our subscribers here, and sometimes they talk among themselves. They all have intuition. They're all here for the same reason. They have had their epiphany. They've had their moment. They want to go further. These people who call on the chat line want to know what's happening in the invisible world, and it's it really here's Nellie saying, okay, we'll let them talk among themselves as they do sometimes, but it's a wonderful thing to be able to bring this group together, because my guides are always talking to me, and this stimulates the talk and the crosstalk in my mind. It's always very healing for me, because I see myself, and boy. Oh, so hey lately. So when I pull a card on myself this evening, and see what kind of a night it is, it's very lucky, extremely lucky, and it finishes up a part of for someone. This is the information that they needed to be able to make a decision that they were trying to make. So that's good. That's good. Oh me, these today being a 5. That's what it totals up to. Is a day of great change. It's a day that people are going to find a new way. They're going to buck up against authority. They're going to want their own path. They're going to bounce back and forth between wanting independence and dependence, where somebody else supports you, where somebody else takes care of you. Back in the good old days of television, says Cody, you could make 39 shows for the fall and in the summer season. But later on, they were starting to make 24 seasons. Well, in the beginning, everybody had to make a special episode for Christmas, the Christmas week, because they didn't run specials. They just had on the programs. And you had to have your Thanksgiving show, right? And your New Year's show. And these led to a very sameness to all of the shows because they had to write so many. They all used the same plots. Of course they did. Why not? Here's the one where you play twins and you amaze the people, right, by looking at the back of your head. So, if when we have someone back on the line here, we'll move on through some more readings. Here's Katie saying, "Concerned, why is Kudaku's picture?" Oh, okay. So they're checking into each other's files here, right? Even it doesn't matter how much intuition you have, how connected you are to the spirit world. You're still human. You still want companionship. That's why we're all here, is to help each other and to okay. So there's the whole problem with television is teaching the wrong thing because it is such a great teacher, right? And you can very easily just fall into the trap of that Ray Bradbury talks about in 1984. The premise is, of course, in 1984, is that the fireman now burns books, sent out to burn books so they can rewrite history. And this is to show you how insidious it is to be able to go back and rewrite history. And the fireman's wife is entranced by the television. The television covers an entire wall. It's life size, and the picture is perfect, right? The way it is now. And it's completely computerized as to her. The newsman stops in the middle of the newscast and says, what do you think? And and gives you a chance to mimic whatever you've heard, which is very close to us watching cable TV, and mimicking the news, no matter if it's right or wrong. But we all want to be authoritative, so we do mimic, just as Ray Bradbury said we would. And he wrote this in 1950, and that's the year that television actually begins, network television. And from that perspective of the first year, he makes such a brilliant prediction of what television is going to be. In his world in 1984, the most popular television show at night, watched by everyone, is this mechanical dog chasing down criminals and biting them with a poisonous fang. I mean, it's life or death, and they chase right through your city. It's a wonderful book if you've never read 1984 or anything by Ray Bradbury. And it's not just because he refuses to drive or fly that I associate with him. but isn't that a wonderful thing to have in your life if you can do all of your writing from downstairs and never leave the house? That's why I admire Ray Bradbury so much. He didn't need approval at all. He was writing for himself, as the great writers do. What else have we got on tonight? Uh, uh, ladies, come. Oh, SJ says thank you, and Cody says I've heard of the story of 1984. They've never really been able to capture it in a movie, but it's powerful. It is. It's such a slice of life into the life of today. And if you can understand what's happened before, you can see why things happen the way they do now. Katie, here's Cody in 1984. Wow, in 84 is when greed took over the planet, took over this country. Every film that was made was about amassing the fortune, you know, and people took it to heart. There was more cheating and lying that went on. It was unbelievable. The companies that fell apart, that didn't really exist, that really turned the whole world into the place we see now. Because once things went online, we're connected to the world, for good or bad, and it's a good place to be if you can look forward to it. That's what you have to do. If you can look forward to the future and see things getting better, you have a reason to be here. I think that's what we're all looking for. Uh, yeah, yeah, man. In my 30s, boy, those are my television years. You know, oh God, it's um, to be 30 years old is where people first say, "Sir," and you say, "Who's the old man around here?" And you begin to age whether you want to or not. Um, when you get to be retirement age, that's when things really change for you. That's when you change your perspective on life. Uh, Crazy Coolio saying no more arguing. Okay, all right. So say is going to settle the crowd down there. That's very good. Cody says, "What were your memories about the 1980s?" To be honest, not a whole lot. Not a whole lot of memories because it's a very hazy time. It really is. Uh, I got into music at what I consider to be the greatest time ever in 1969, 1968, when that particular year the FCC opened up the FM band and gave every college, every university in America a chance to start their own radio station. Build it, put it up. You could have any power you really wanted. And ours was 780 watts from a third-story building on top of us where the antenna was. But boy, was it a great start. And it was free to your students. They paid us. I made $30 a month as the sports director. I did play-by-play of the football and basketball for them too. And should have stayed there. Boy, I tell you what. Think how life could be different for you if you turn down a particular job or take a particular job, and how things can change. Oh man. Here's Nana saying, Nene is saying, "Hey Franklin, Cody, and everybody tonight. Love the 80s. Cody says hello. And, the 1980s seemed like such a long time ago. 40 years can just evaporate. And I'll tell you one thing: the older you get, the faster time moves. The faster the year is gone. It's just a remarkable thing. And as you get older and get to where you remember less, right? So we've got about 10 more minutes in this hour. And this is what we do on Friday nights at 8 o'clock, same time, same channel. Hope you get a chance to come back. And for our subscribers, that's the only prerequisite for being able to sit in the chat room is to be a subscriber to the channel. So that's the way you can have a reading. I offer readings to everyone. Everyone. That right there is the wonderful thing about astrology. Just about 200 years ago, the man who wrote under the name Alan Leo discovered how sun signs can affect everyone, all of the 365 days of the year. And that's what changed astrology from just being for countries, kings, and queens to everybody. Anyone who knew their exact date of birth could suddenly have an astrological reading. Times I've watched people recording home videos from the early 2000s, a few decades more in retrospect. Yeah. I remember when my grandfather came over with the Kodak camera. The first one, and you looked down into the camera and took your picture. But it was amazing. I also remember the first one where when you took the picture, it popped out and about 60 seconds later developed itself in this real hazy kind of, they were terrible. And that's just before everything went as it has digital. But there were a lot of years there where you had a roll of film in your camera that was like 36 shots. And it would take you all year long to make those pictures. Then you've got to take the film and go down to Dury's and whatever was the one place in your city that developed film, and they would get it back to you like a week later. You'd finally see your pictures. Imagine how hard it was. How many people developed their own pictures? People had dark rooms set up so they could see their pictures a whole lot sooner. But when my dad graduated from high school, he didn't graduate, but like a year or two before. So around 1941 to something like that, his yearbook is all these little individual pictures that, of course, fall out through the years. But the camera was the brand new thing, right? And they were making their own pictures and putting the annual together there. Oh, man. There's the home video. The video camera used to be shoulder mounted. It was that large. It was just like the television remote cameras that you see now. And to try and get that thing right and not jitter it was a real took a real professional. My grandfather, my mother's father, every year went to see the Indianapolis 500 and took his color camera with him. So what you saw was these cars. And we watched those movies over and over again. Cody says, I saw the first picture that was ever shown goes back from 1839 or 40. Good Lord, Cody, what was the movie? Do you remember? Or was there actually a plot? Probably a good-looking woman was put on the screen. I'll just bet you. The the thing about making all of the episodes for the different TV shows, what they left open was the summer, and during the summer we got the summer fill-in shows. Any show they wanted to test, they would put on in the summer. And in those couple of months, people would tell them, if that was going to fly or not. Uh, it was a picture. So a picture. Yes, yes. That's the whole kaleidoscope idea. It's like flipping the pages of a book and seeing that picture, little stick man change. That's really the basis of the kinescope. Was that flip, that movement. It's electric, and that's why Edison invented it. Anything electric, Edison probably invented. He was a master builder, and to think that he foresaw electrically lighting the city of Buffalo, New York, simply using the Niagara waterfall. The power that was coming down off that waterfall is what he needed for the original generator that powered some lights for a city. And of course, that was not available in many places. So many alterations are made. Edison had a huge staff of people that worked these projects out in later life. So it's what we're all from. All of our forefathers, all of our mothers and fathers, they are who we are now. Cody says, sure did stage show for summer replacement show. There used to be quite a competition for the fill-in of Johnny Carson. You talk about making some careers in the early days. See, Carson was on 5 nights a week, and on Sunday night, they reran the best shows. They were, from the very beginning, they were already, it was Carson's production company. He owned the rights to everything. Let's put it on. And people loved it on Sunday night. There was nothing on against it, right? There was no programming on Sunday. So Carson's reruns were incredibly popular on Sunday night. Played a little earlier than the usual show. And those people who actually took a week, the first few that actually did, it propelled them into stardom. Burt Reynolds was first funny on the Carson show. Art Donovan, remember the football player Art Donovan? He somehow went from being an oaf to a funny guy. Bob Uecker made his debut on the Tonight Show. Just walked out and started being funny. But so many were actually the reruns. Yeah. And this really brings about the concept of reruns, because Carson is continually having more shows, and they're all to where he can take a day off anytime he wants to. It's in the contract. He can just take a week off whenever he wants to, and whatever they put on, well, that's up to them. So it was quite a competition, as it is here, right, for our chat room. So I'm Franklin, your host of the Cosmic Watch, and we'll be here next week, same time, same channel, and hope to see you here.